And this was like secondary school boys, freshly out of SS, you know, and across the town. In the evenings, you just waited at certain places, and they will come by in their big cars, and everybody's your fans. Before you realize they got a whole new set of following, and then they tell you what they go and do to get those things. You'll be surprised. So yes, that's true. What else? What are some of the things that scare you, Pa? If you had a child right now, what will scare you? LGBT. Hey, what is a serious matter? LGBT. It's a serious matter. And so right now, look, their parents today, teenage pregnant, you go and get someone pregnant. As long as you stay a guy but get someone pregnant, it's okay. Don't worry, No, I'm serious. Well, someone, I think it was Mecca were talking about it, and someone said, oh, better one is even better. How about transgender? I say, I mean, these conversations, we never had them. So times have really changed. The things that were, that we consider trouble today, in my time, they didn't exist at all. There's more. What else? Self-harming. Tell us about that one. Oh, depression. And out of depression, children just hurting themselves. I had a very interesting one from someone who was very close to me, who worked with me, and her younger sister used to cut her tongue in the UK. In the UK, and her sister is 16 years, and she cuts her tongue, like with a blade. And then she started to cut herself. When they finally told her mother, and they went over and they asked her to uncover, the mother was hysterical. How long have you been doing this? Because she had cuts, like her body was scarred. Scary stuff. In my time, there's no such thing as a mental case. All we know our mental problems were at Ankafo. It means you went to smoke something. Apart from that one, there was no other mental. We don't do depression. In Ghana, that's not a sickness. What do you treat it with? But now those are things, those are realities. Every single day. So, in the midst of all of these things, we are trying to find solutions. And that's why, even for young people, there are many young people who are very frightened of what the future holds. They think about the future and they are really scared. You know, they don't know what's going to happen. I was growing up, all I knew was go to school, get married. That was life. I didn't know anything else. But now it's not as straightforward as that. And that's why we are having this conversation. There's also this funny thing where it's so fashionable now to turn away from God. God is old-fashioned. I've got some friends from primary school. Every once in a while we meet up and just have a chat and laugh. One of them says he's now atheist. He says he's agnostic. I couldn't remember. I can't remember what he's somewhere in there. No, he says he's agnostic. And this was a guy, I mean, his mother will cry, I tell you, because guy, you know, raised Christian home, nice Presby home, was sent outside, went to school, the US, came back, he's an engineer, set up his own company. Since today he's an agnostic, he doesn't believe in God anymore. He thinks a lot of stories that people tell to just make themselves happy. So, I mean, what you spend your time coming to church every Saturday, it's a waste of time for you. You know, but it's fashionable for people, they turn away from God. They don't consider God worth the effort. And today, it starts from now. You know, right now, you are not taking God seriously. It is very likely that 10 years from now, you will not believe in Him. If you don't believe in Him now, you can't believe in Him. It's not magic. There are many Adventist Christians who know Jesus is coming, but they've done nothing to prepare for it. And they believe somehow when Jesus comes, now they'll become Christians, like, you know, they'll see the signs. And then so now Babylon has fallen, the European Union, because prophecy will be preached to us, we think that we got the milestones, you know, in our pockets. As the things start to happen, then we start changing quickly. It doesn't happen like that too. If you don't believe now, you don't believe then. It's not rocket science. So it's fashionable now to turn away from God. So many people turn away from God. They just think it's fashionable. So before I go into how we can become responsible, let me make a disclaimer. I'm not yet fully responsible myself. I'm struggling. My wife will tell you there are many things that I can be irresponsible about. I'll beg her not to tell you here. But it's a fight that you have to take every day. It's something you must do every single day. It's not what we are doing right now is just trying to sow seed, which you will take and go and germinate and make it work for you. It's why sometimes I have problems with these motivational speakers. Many people go to this motivational thing and actually vim, pa. Then they come back 10 years later, and no show. Then they go again. Then they are buying all motivational books and still, you know why? The motivational speaker is only providing you with seed. If you don't take it to your own garden and go and germinate and plant it and care for it and nurture it and watch it, nothing will change. Your life will be as it was. So all we're going to be doing now is talking about certain things that will help us. And I'm hoping to share 10 things. When am I supposed to end? Please tell me. We may not go through all the 10 things because I'm going to go through them very thoroughly as much as I can. But 10 things, 10 principles of preparedness. That's how I would call it. 10 principles of preparedness. So we're talking about being responsible. You didn't do anything to them. They just can't stand you. And they will do things to hurt you. 19 or something years ago. Yes. But I wanted to write this exam in my place of work. And I actually went ahead and registered to write. It was online. Those were the days when this employer of ours was considered a leader in this thing. So we did everything online. And I had prepared myself to write the exam and all of that. Then my boss came and found out I was writing that exam. He said, no. I cried about it for months. But so I was very touchy about losing another good job simply because of this Sabbath thing again. But I was like praying and I was saying, God, you have to. An hour later, to cut a long story short, I got called by HR. Said my boss had made a complaint about me refusing to write. I said, no, I'd already registered for it. And they said I could write on Friday. I didn't understand why. I said, oh, I've registered for it. I'm taking on Friday. Oh, that's fine. Go ahead. And that was how that mysterious thing came to nothing. But the point I'm making is that you always run into people like this throughout your life. Even up to now, there are people who want to also continue to steal your dream. It doesn't matter how long you work. So trusting in God makes a difference. It's not, I wish I had a way to explain to you that it's not just church talk. There was a day we had a problem and I used to be a systems administrator for all the ledger books for trade for West Africa. So when the day ends, I run this system that, make sure that all the money that were credited here go into the account and all the statements and everything show up properly so the next day you can start work. Without it, they will start work the next day. And for some funny reason, at about 9 o'clock when I'm running the system, nothing's happening. Hey, I call India, we are talking, I'm speaking with this guy, and they are still seeing a lot of guys. I said, please, it's running. They said, they can't see it. I said, I don't care, it is running. And that's how that happened. I believe without a shadow of doubt in the power of prayer to change things. Please, it is not a joke. Trust in God. Second thing, get knowledge. And I'd like for someone to read for me Proverbs 1:7, another person Proverbs 2:6, and a third person Proverbs 24:3-4. Proverbs 1:7, Proverbs 2:6, Proverbs 24:3-4. Anyone who finds, please read. Proverbs 1:7, Proverbs 2:6, Proverbs 24:3-4. Anyone who finds, just read it for me. For real. Boss, You said the next verse we pray for each other. Pray with the team. Okay. Any questions, or we can go on? All right. Then let's bow our heads. Sure.
See, your generation is different from...
Yes, you told me about yes.
The generation is different from this generation. Growing up, we were very cheap. A good name is better than riches.
Today, say riches is better than a good name.
That's the thing. This generation seems to be so much in a hurry as compared to the generation 30 years ago. That seems that patience is everything. How are you able to juggle between these two generations so that this is take your time? Because this generation doesn't want to hear anything about taking your time. It's like either make it or forget it. Get rich or try die.
Die trying. I suppose it starts from conversations like this at church. Not everybody go away convinced. Some people will. And if we start from the principles where we start with God and understand that all these things work, the problem is when God is out of the equation, we can't have a conversation. We simply can't. We can't have a conversation because there's no basis for the communication. But if all of you sitting here actually believe that God has meaning and purpose, and that ultimately you stand before Him in accountability, then we start a conversation. Now that conversation might mean that you might not totally enjoy everything I have to say. There are many things. Look, the discipline part is very hard. I'm still fighting myself. There are small things that I must stop, but Charlie, I can't stop. I'm still fighting. I'm 47 now. Started fighting it like since age 19. Wahala. Up to now. So it's not an easy thing, but you must start a conversation. And once you establish the principles that at the end of it, you agree that this is the outcome that I want, then you begin to titrate between, yes, I might not do it as, so maybe let's say myself and my daughter, we're having that conversation. She might see me as, Charlie, too patient, too slow, and all of that one. Then I will say, no, go at the pace you think you should go, but understand that when you are going on that pace, you cannot hurt somebody to drop all that.
Please, let's all kindly come inside as we wrap up. Waiting for you. Let's be snappy. And how